Yeah, so it's another Saturday and I'm working outside because it's really nice outside, and it's good to get some fresh air, especially when you're prepping. So I'm working on this French Provincial vanity. I primed it, well, sanded, primed, stripped, and then used a satin bronze and a chestnut metallic paint on this, and champagne. So it's like a champagne, satin bronze, chestnut sort of finish on here. I'm trying to go for more of like a old world sort of look. Finish for the base, yes. And so I'm kind of using more like neutral colors. I'm not using anything terribly bright for this piece. I just kind of want to go for like a sort of a shabby, chic, old world kind of French country sort of look with this vanity. So since I've already painted it pretty much, I'm going to add more on top after I decoupage the papers to make them blend in more. So it's not going to look like this. This is just the base for what I have going on for this vanity. And my plan is to use some of the rice papers. I don't know if you've seen Redesign with Prima rice papers, and they have a lot of different designs. I like these because they're more of the it has the little, like when you make your own paper, it has the little I don't want to, strings that has those little strings going through it. So when you use this, it's not like, if it is wrinkled slightly, it doesn't matter as much because it's not a smooth texture as tissue papers. So that's a plus with these ones. So you can kind of go a little bit more rustic with these and not worry too much if it wrinkles with these papers. And then of course there's the mulberry, or the mulberry decoupage papers, and I'm using the washed damask, so it's this one here. These ones are different, they're longer and they come in two parts, so there's the top and then there's the bottom. So these ones are bigger and longer, and the texture is slightly different too, as in it's more fibrous. It's not as much like paper-like, it's more cloth-like, kind of like a linen sheet sort of texture to these ones, which makes them more durable and really easy to decoupage. You don't have to use the iron-on method with these ones, or the rice papers. You don't have to use the iron-on method. I'll show you in a bit, but they're really easy to use. So that's the advantage of these ones. All right, so let me get started. I have a few of them. I can't really decide what to use completely, so I just kind of pulled some of them and just see how it looks and go from there. I might rip some pieces up and layer them, so I'm not really sure. I have it's hard for me to decide until I see it. So this one is, what's it called? Botanical Sonata. It has little musical notes on it and some butterflies. It has a very vintage look to it. So it has the butterflies and this sort of lace pattern on top, and then the musical notes over there. So my plan is to use the lacy part for the top here. This is a faux drawer, but I'm going to cut two of them and put this part up here, and then I was going to use the rest of it on the drawers there. So I'm only using it on the face of the drawers. I'm not really going to be putting it completely across the surface because I want to do some painting and texturing to blend it in, and just use these designs like as accents to this piece. So that's kind of my plan right there. All right, so I think for this, I'm going to go ahead and spray. I prefer to use these, it's kind of windy, weigh these down so they don't fly away. I prefer to use these spray adhesives. That's my preferred method, the 3M spray adhesives. The higher the number, the stronger the adhesive. They have from 45, which is the general purpose one, all the way up to 90, which is like kind of like industrial strength. So I have the 45. This one I usually use for stenciling because it's repositionable. And this one I usually use for decoupage just to make sure that it sticks on completely. On the chair, is that my, I don't know, what is on the chair? Oh, that's my dog. Do you see him? Yeah, he's kind of hiding. He likes to sunbathe, so he's sort of sitting there watching me. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and spray the top of the paper and then adhere it to here and then cut it. I think that's just gonna be easier for me. So usually I just spray a little bit on the back. I'm going to do it on the ground because when you spray it kind of gets all over the place. So I'm just going to do this on the ground. Here. Just a little bit of this one. So I kind of sprayed it on the back of here, just lightly. I don't want too much so that it gets sticky. Okay. I'm just going to put it on here. It's kind of curved, which is fine. It's not going to really mess with my plans too much. Alright, so I just use an X-Acto blade to cut it when it's on the surface. I didn't press this too much. My blade is not super sharp, so it's kind of tearing it a little bit. Where's my kind of tearing a little bit just because my blades are not that sharp. I was using it on something else, so it's kind of tearing, but I really don't mind, just because I don't need this to look perfect since I'll be texturing anyway. So I'm just trying to cut it so that it kind of just fits on here. So these are kind of sticking up, but that's okay because I will be using the texture paste, and then I can just put a little bit of a poly under here and get it to stick down. The paper isn't very heavy, so it won't have any issues sticking on to any sort of surface. You can use multiple things for decoupaging. You can use paint, you can use poly, or like any sort of liquid. So you can use a top coat, you can use paint, you can use glue, just a lot of different things, because as it dries it will stick on there. So don't worry too much about, you know, having the perfect product. Just use what you have. And I have to grab, see, this one has the other side, so I'm just gonna kind of overlap it and put that on there. Okay, so staying on really well. Use my razor blade. not making very clean cuts because this is kind of dulled a little bit. Should have grabbed a new one, but that's fine. I'm going to be sanding it too, so it's all good. And put it in here. Okay. So, okay. Kind of what I'm going for. I'm actually going to tear this a little bit to make it less noticeable. If you tear the edges, it makes them blend in more instead of like having a clean straight line. So I'm just tearing it a little bit. See how it looks better? You don't have the clean line when you tear it up a bit. So now it looks, you know, like it's more blended. So yeah, just another tip if you want it to blend in more. Let's say you're doing this pattern, but you're trying to get it to blend in all around. Just tear the edges of the paper before you put it on, and then once you put it on, it'll be easier to blend over it and make it look more cohesive if that's what you're trying to do with this. But I'm just going to do some pattern texture over it later. Okay, so I'm going to use the other parts of this for the drawers. Normally I would just take these out and do it, but just so that you can see, I'm just leaving them in. But yes, it's easier to take out the drawers and do it with them laying down. I used a satin bronze, and then I have a chestnut metallic, and then a hammered gold spray that I used on the top. Trying to decide if I want it more. I think I want the musical notes in more. Yeah, I'm going to add more of the areas with this the sort of tan beige color rather than the white. So this on. Not so much the white. Peeled off a little bit of the paint, but that's fine. It hasn't really dried long enough. It's only been a few hours, so kind of bound to happen, but that's fine. Right, put this on the bottom one. Sticky, very sticky. Let's do the other side. use the other paper, but I kind of like this bluebell, sort of, not a bluebell, but blue flower. So I'm going to use that one too, I think, on the bottom part. And then I can use the other one. And kind of make it similar. I'll just do the other side, I think, with this one so that it's not too matchy, but it looks similar. So I think I'll just do more of the butterfly on this one for that drawer. Yes, can you see that? Okay. I don't know if you can tell, but you can't really tell if there's any wrinkles at all, just because the paper is not like tissue paper. It's more of the nicer paper that looks homemade. Sticky. Where's that end? Right, just do this end, and I'll do that over here, just so there's blue on the bottoms, and that should look good, hopefully. Yeah, just laying it across, and you can reposition it until it dries. So that's nice if you're trying to get it precise on there, you can reposition with the spray adhesives. And I'm going to go back with some poly and just get the edges there. Just didn't want to get too much glue everywhere because it's pretty sticky. So yeah, that was for the fronts right here. You can see it's really easy to do. It's the 90, I'm using the 91, the 93M for attaching it, so it's the 91, that's what I'm using. And okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the sides now. That's where I wanted to do the washed damask decoupage paper. This one is the other kind, the tougher kind. So that was my plan, to do it on the sides. Let's see. I think I will just move the camera rather than move the desk because it's easier. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this over. I hope that's not too much of a glare for you. That's the thing about working outside. Okay. So this is the washed mask. I'm just gonna put it on over here like this. And so I'm going to just spray it and what in the world? I'm gonna just spray some of this. Also, when you top coat it, it makes it stick on even more. So sorry, don't want these little bubbles because they kind of seep through. So be aware of that one with this tissue paper. The liquid does seep through more because it's more porous, it's more fibrous. It's just a different material, so that's why it does that. Let's see if my X-Acto blade will work here. Upside down, is it? No, it's not upside down. Okay, so I got that one. Let's do the other side. Guess this is going to be a really fast live. Alright, so there's the other side here. I think it's long enough, the other half. Yeah, it's long enough. Oh, and I forgot to mention, with the decoupage papers, the mulberry ones, you want, oh shoot, you want to be careful of the base color you're using because it will show through a bit, especially if it's more white. So the best color you should use for these ones is probably white if you want it true to color. So the color does sort of show through. Not so much with this one, but with some of the others, you can see what the color is underneath a little bit. It just kind of tints it, whatever, depending on the color that is underneath. So if it's like black, then it will look a bit gray, that sort of thing. So just if you're wondering about what color you should paint the base, white is the safer option. Just gonna trim this. It's easier for me to trim when it's on. I'm not one of those people who can measure something and cut it and then have it fit perfectly. Never happens. So I'm just more of a trim the thing on the surface. My hands are so sticky. Okay, so that is on. So yeah, you can see there's no bubbling or wrinkling at all. It's just on here really smooth, and I don't really have to worry about what is how to apply it, because just because it's just easier to use than like if you're using a poster or if you're using the tissue papers. Okay, so there is the front again. Okay. Well, I probably should have grabbed some paints. I didn't realize this was going to be so fast. Actually, I will. I'll just go grab a little bit of paint, I think, and Polly just rub this on. I'm gonna grab my brush. I didn't think it would be so short. I was actually kind of considering putting some roses on too, but just because I can layer these, kind of considering tearing it and then adding it on to some areas like that. Just see how it would look. Rip this. I don't really want to cut it because I want it to look more blended. So I'm just going to see how this looks if I add it over that area. I actually like it. I might do that. I might just add it a little bit over here. Let's give it a little bit more. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm just going to tear off some of the white edging a little bit more. But that's what I like about this paper, is that you can do a lot more things with it. I'm just going to tear off the white more. Okay, then I spray this and see if I can trim it to fit. Okay. Stuck to my fingers. So I have to get the drawer divisions. Or not the drawer divisions, the fake drawer, but I need it to lay flat, so I'm going to cut it right here where it is not level. Oh yeah, sticky. Okay, it's so sticky. I usually wear gloves. I completely forgot. Ugh. Yikes, yeah. I didn't bring my wipes, but that's fine. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks actually pretty cool for what I'm doing. And then I'm going to sand it right here so that it's less even, or just tear it. A little bit of the glue where I put it on too heavily kind of seeped a little bit through, but once it dries, it should be okay. All right, let's do the other rose then. If I did this side, I'll do the other side. Just need the rose facing that direction. That'd be weird. I think this one down here would work. Let's tear it again. It's gonna tear so it blends in more. off that little bud. It's fine. I'm just going to tear off this other one too. Got it. Do that over here. I'm going to tear the ends too a little bit. Whoa, spraying everywhere. All right, yeah. Trying to get this to lay flat on here. It's a little harder with the curved areas, but okay, I think I got it. Trim this. Just put some poly under there. Do I have my smaller brush? Nope, no smaller brush. I might just have to use my fingers. Just get it a little dirty with my fingers. It's fine. I'm just putting some poly on to get it to lay down flat on here more. So you can see even putting it on presses it down because the liquid seeps through and it just pulls it down and lays it more flat. That, and then when these areas that are kind of curling up, just put a little bit of poly underneath, and then, whoops, that tore, but okay. Not really what I was going for. Okay. My sticky fingers. Alright. So yeah, you can just put a little bit of something underneath and get it to stick. These areas down over here. So I'm thinking I'll have to do a beige over here, like beige powdering. I have a taupe artisan powder I was going to use, but I didn't really think I would finish this so soon, so I will be doing that. I will be powdering this with the memory hardware artisan powder for the texturing and stuff that I'll be doing this piece. these areas didn't really stick. But yeah. It's because I'm already going for a vintagey vibe. Kind of want it to look a bit rough. Let's clean this one up a little bit. Using poly to press it down more. Crevices because it has the raised edges, this one. So, and I don't think I want to add any more roses. I think this is good. I don't know. Good, sort of. Like maybe I should carry the pink over more, but I don't know, I don't really want it to be too pink-ish. I don't know, I'll have to think about that one. Let's see if I want to layer more on top of it, or I may end up layering something a bit different too. Just kind of depends on how it ends up looking. And then there was little holes where the screws for this key goes in, so make sure I find that pin hole. Okay, it's right there. Alright, sometimes when I put these papers over, it's like I can't really find the holes underneath, so especially the little screws, if there's like it's pinned on, then I don't want to create another new hole, so usually I just try to find that. And I'm trying to think. So yeah, this is pretty much it for decoupaging. It's so loud. It's not very hard, as you can see, so it goes really fast. It's easier than using transfers, it's cheaper, and you can still get fancy and cool designs with it. So if you're looking for a cheaper alternative than transfers, the papers are the best way to go, and they're super easy to put on, as you saw. It only takes me like 5-10 minutes sometimes just to do this, so it's really easy. I think, yeah, I should have grabbed more stuff, but I didn't really think about how fast this would be. Let's see, so if you have any questions, I don't know if this is every single time I try to do this. No two pieces ever look the same. I try not to create the same sort of pieces because one, I like trying to create a different look, just kind of a challenge. And then two, I also like my customers to know that their piece is one of a kind, and it's, you know, they're not going to have, I'm not like reproducing the same designs over and over, so that what they have is unique, unless I, you know, I get a request or something. But I like to keep it, you know, like sort of different and stuff for my pieces. And it's just fun working with the different colors and stuff too. The one that I have done right now is super colorful. I'll show you it tomorrow. I just finished it today, but that one is complete opposite of what this one looks like and is going to look like. This is going to look more rustic and more aged. I'm going to add rust in certain areas, a lot of texture. It's going to be a little bit more taupe up here in beige. I also have a lace stencil that I am going to use to kind of carry it more too on top. Just a lot of stuff going on, but I'm hoping it looks like what I'm thinking of, but we'll see. Sometimes I change the design completely, so it just depends on the process and how I'm kind of feeling at the moment for that. So I'm going to end this live, and if I'll start another one, I'll start another one with the paints. So if you want to see that one, I'll go ahead and do that one right after this when I gather all my stuff for it. So you can catch that in 15 minutes. I'll create another live. But I just wanted to show you how easy it is to decoupage. It's not hard at all if you use these type of papers. Tissue papers are finicky, but if you use spray adhesive with the tissue papers, you don't need to do the iron-on either. It just depends on how wet you get it. The more wet, the more it wrinkles. So just keep that in mind, which is why I like spray adhesives as well. And I will seal these. I'm going to seal these with poly. So that's after everything. So that's how I seal it. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I think that's it. Besides the texture part, this is more paper. These side ones are a little bit rougher. So if you want to get it smoother, you're going to have to use a bit of a thicker medium like Mod Podge or gesso to seal over it. So if you want to get it smooth and not the texture, the fibrous texture of the other papers, use a gesso or something thicker that will seal it and make it more smooth if it bothers you. It doesn't bother me, but you know, we all look for different things, so that's just another tip I can give you. Don't sand the other ones. Don't sand the more fibrous ones, because it just gets balled up as you sand, so those ones don't sand. These ones you can sand. Just don't sand the other ones. It won't look good. It's just gonna tear up and just like create like little lint balls and stuff, so don't sand those unless you seal it, but even then, I don't know. Trying to think of what else. I think that's it. I'm just gonna keep working on this one and do some blending so that it looks better, and I think I covered everything. Yeah, I think I covered everything. If I didn't cover something, just comment and I will get back to you. I think that's all I have as far as decoupage goes. You can find these on my link that I posted above. There's a ton of different designs, so take a look. And yeah, I think that's it. So I'll see you a little bit later for the painting part if you want to see that one. I'm just going to keep working on this one, but I hope this gives you an idea as far as decoupaging with the redesign papers and how you can do that really simply and very, very fast. So, all right, so bye guys, I'll see you in a few minutes. I just need to get my stuff together for the painting part, but thanks for watching the decoupage. I hope it was helpful, and give it a try. It's really easy.